so don't be shy.
Yeah, we're about to start the meeting, so I will accept that everybody is here, and I can't do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Odd number of people. We need one more. We got 13 people in here.
What about you?
I counted me.
Okay.
I'm the odd one.
You are.
But it's 12 noon, and I don't know if we have anybody logging in.
Catherine might be
Catherine
joining
might?
virtually, but.
We'll find out. So, guest, since you're the only real guest, would you introduce yourself? Typically, when your mouth is open, you have to stand up.
My name is Jennifer Kreis, and I work at NPP. I'm a GCR analyst, and I decided to come with her to see what this is all about, see if I would like to join.
Well, thank you for your first speech. How painful was that? And we have Little Joe. You haven't been here in a year.
Give it a while.
Yeah.
Joe Crisatello, Jr., technically the third. My dad, he's the businessman, and I'm the little businessman. Video editing. Thank you.
Okay. Who else hasn't been here in a very long time?
I have not.
Okay.
In at least 4 months.
You're like a new face. I don't even recognize you.
You're like, who's that?
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. My name is Daniel Guidon. I am the treasurer of this club. So if you owe me any money, I'll be knocking on your door. But yeah, so I've been with Toastmasters now for a year and a half, and I have been missing in action due to some work things, but I'm excited to be back and seeing some new faces as well, with LaShawn and as well Joe. I've seen your name card many times.
Thanks, Jim.
Well, thank you all for being here. I won't ask everybody to introduce themselves. That's another 20 minutes. And we'll get to our theme. Our theme is break away from every day. And I got a call recently. Now, I have memory problems. And a long time ago, I signed up for a brain study. You know, it was at some fair downtown. If you're interested, sign up. So I signed up. Somebody gave me a call, and they said, well, do you have any brain injury? And I said, well, I do have a brain tumor. Oh, yeah, well, you're disqualified. And that was a couple years ago. So 9 days ago, the guy calls me out of the blue, and I thought it was a scam. He said, Mr. Kevin. He said, yeah, my name is Mohammed. He has an accent. My name is Mohammed, and we're doing a study, a psychological study. You signed up for a brain study. I said, well, I was disqualified. He said, well, this is a memory study. So for 14 days, I have this app on my phone, and I have to download images, and then artificial intelligence analyzes the images I send it and provides me questions about the images. And it's almost like playing a video game, but somehow it's testing my memory abilities. But if the picture I took, I know everything about it, so I feel pretty superior. I'm beating artificial intelligence.
So far.
It's the real thing. People may say, well, you know.
Or so you think.
I've been asked to be, voted on or something, to be in the speech contest that the district is running. So it's going to be on the 28th of this month, next week. And so my speech is going to be all the stupid things I never did. And because when I was single, I never did anything stupid. And after I got married, it's like every day I do at least 2 stupid things. And I'm told about it. So everybody meets their judgment. But break away from everyday stuff, because life is a big adventure. So thank you all for engaging in the adventure of Toastmasters. The major evaluator, which is somebody who judges everything, he's going to be qualified to be on the Supreme Court, possibly, is going to be Jake Lesko. Jake, could you introduce your entire team, and if we don't have any members of the team, we'll find them.
Okay, yeah, we may have to assign a few. I think I found out only about Craig being the odd counter. I still don't know who's going to be the timer or the grammarian yet. Have we picked anyone?
We're gonna ask for volunteers.
All right, does anybody?
I can do the timer if somebody tells me what to do.
Okay. All right, so.
Okay.
Somebody else can fill you in on the timers. Yeah,
I can
she
yeah.
knows that stuff.
So the timer You will be timing the two speakers, which is myself and Jeremy. Both of our speeches are 6 to 8 minutes. So at the 6-minute mark, you'll raise the green sheet, 7 minutes would be the yellow sheet, and then 8 minutes is the wrap it up red at the end. And then for table topics, it's the same, but 1 minute, 1:30, and then 2 minutes for that.
Okay, thank you. And so that covers that for Brandy. And then Joe volunteered for grammarian, so would you like to do a brief introduction of what that is?
Yeah, I just took a quick look to refresh my memory. Well, I guess I'll monitor the meeting on how grammar is used throughout the meeting and with our speeches. Do my best.
Word of the day too, right? Or somebody else?
I have a bonus word of the day at the bottom.
Yeah.
I believe we have some special forms over here.
They'll be giving extra points for bonus word of the day. I don't know if the points go towards, but that'll be what you get. Honorary points. Okay, and our odd counter is Craig. He has stepped up, thankfully, to do so.
Hi, I'm Craig. I haven't been here in a few months. I haven't done not counting in a while either. So part of that is going to be whoever's doing your speech, whether it's the longer speech or the shorter ones, I'll be monitoring and checking for ahs and ums. You'd be surprised how many times you can say ah and ums when you're speaking. Repeats, ands, buts, you knows. Many times sentence structure, some people will come off with well, so those sorts of things. And the nonverbal cues as well. So I'll be keeping a tally of those. Don't take it personal. It's just one of those things that we try to monitor, so it'll help you improve your speech content when you're standing up in front of a group of people. And if you ever watch politicians do things, you'd be surprised how many times they say some, oh. Next time you watch them, count. You'll be amazed.
Thank you, Craig. So that's the evaluation team, and I'll keep it brief and pass it back to Ben.
Well, thank you very much. Fine job you did there, Jake, of pre-arranging everybody. We're a fly-by-the-seat organization, in case anybody hasn't noticed. So we're going to introduce the speakers. Speaker's first one is Larissa Yost for 6 to 8 minutes, and she provided, oh, hello.
I have a question.
We're full of answers. I'm full of it, really.
Great. Can we go over the word of the day, just because I didn't get a chance to soak it into my mind?
I missed.
So the word of the day at the bottom of the agenda is Goldilocks, which is an adjective. It describes something that has or produces an optimal balance, usually between two extremes. Used in a sentence, the couple, undecided between country and city living, took the Goldilocks option and moved to a bustling college town surrounded by nature.
Thank you.
Of course.
No porridge.
Was there another word of the day, or that's it?
That's all I got.
Oh, okay.
It's just the Goldilocks. Unless you have a bonus word that you wanted to share.
There's more here. Okay. If anybody needs agendas, I didn't get an agenda on the way in. They're in the far back corner. Okay. This is Larissa's introduction I'm up to now. Larissa is a member of the local BNI chapter. Could you please explain that?
The BNI, Business Networking International.
Oh.
It's a networking group for local businesses and people.
Wow.
Yeah,
Which we should all be in.
sure.
Okay.
Come on over.
And next week is her 8-minute presentation. Actually, it's this week.
Next week for BNI, I'm presenting in BNI.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. You know, I've been married 44 years and I still can't speak woman. Apparently I can't read woman either. No offense to women. The purpose of this presentation is to inform the group about herself and KW Fitness, which is her business that she works with the goal of getting referrals for new clients. Please welcome Larissa Yost. How do you say your last name?
Yost.
Yost,
like most.
yeah. Okay, I had 50% chance of being right and I missed it.
If you wouldn't mind taking a sheet of each of those and then passing it around the room. So as Ben had mentioned, The presentation I'm giving next week is to a group of business owners, and the idea is that they would learn more about me and what I do, and then if they come across somebody out in their personal lives or through their business connections that is looking for a personal trainer or looking to get into an exercise routine, that they would refer them to me, and then hopefully it would be a good fit and I would take care of them. And it's meant to move mutually to their businesses as well. But I wanted to take my 8 minutes today to explain what the initial appointment would look like. Because for a lot of people, exercise is exercise. We've all we've done squats, we've done push-ups, it's not crazy stuff that we're doing. And I actually like to tell people that if you see something online that looks insane or looks kind of dangerous, it probably is. It's probably not a good idea. Like doing something crazy with bands and a yoga ball and a barbell, everything like that. So we really focus on basics, but what sets us apart from other facilities in the area is that personal touch that we're able to give our clients that are coming in, and that comes from day one when you first meet with us. So the first appointment generally would be a consultation. So they aren't a member yet, but you would be meeting with me to see if we're a good fit. And with that appointment, I greet you by name. It's more you would be talking to me as opposed to me talking to you. I want to hear all about why you're looking for a fitness program or looking to work with a fitness professional. Are there goals that you're trying to work towards, whether it's weight loss or some sort of strength goal? Is there an event that kind of prompted you to come in? Is it something that your doctor said? Do you have to lower your A1C? Are you having trouble doing what are called activities of daily living, like getting up and out of your couch, being able to get on the floor with your grandkids, being able to put your shoes on without sitting on a bench, something like that. So gathering all this information, I can then kind of formulate what would be the best course of action. Should we go for private personal training, which we offer at KW Fitness? So that would be just you and I sitting down, and that's great if you have really specific goals or if there's something that we're working around that would make it unsafe if you didn't have my full undivided attention. Most of our clients do small group training, so that's 2 to 5 people in one session, and that's because a lot of people tend to have relatively similar goals. We might be trying to lose a little bit of weight, we might be in general trying to get stronger, and we can do this in a group, and that also helps with the community aspect because exercise isn't super fun usually when you're doing it in the moment, but when you're in a group, we're talking about how was your weekend, what are the kids doing, and that also helps with the motivation on those days when you don't want to be there. And Linda's going to be asking like, oh, where's Nancy today? And then I can text Nancy like, hey, we all miss you, like hope you're feeling better or something like that, so that you don't fall off the horse and then it's been 6 months since you've been in the gym and you're paying for a membership you're not getting anything out of. But in that first initial appointment is what we say. So I've already met you for your consultation. So we're meeting again, I'm welcoming you, big smile, because it is a vulnerable situation. We're talking about all the things that you're not doing very well. We're getting on a scale for the first time. Nobody loves doing that in front of an audience, but we really try to make it a positive environment. So we have, for example, what's called an in-body scale. So it's a scale that weighs you like any other scale would, but it also has sensors in the foot plate and then has handles that you hold on to. So because of that, it's able to tell us of your weight, how much of it is muscle versus how much of it is body fat versus how much of it is just water weight. And then we run through all of those numbers. And a lot of people, when they come in, they're like, oh my gosh, I'm 35% body fat. This is horrible. Like, I'm more than a quarter. And that's where, I reel them back in and I'm like, this is neither good nor bad. It's the first one. There was no, expectation here. It's just giving us something to work off of the next time that we sit down and meet. And there's a lot of education that happens there. Like, the goal is not to get to 0% body fat. You would die well before you got anywhere close to that. The goal is to kind of frame what would work for your life. Could we get you down to 12 to 15% body fat? Maybe, but are you willing to weigh out all your food, be really restrictive, cut out everything that's sort of like fun in your life, alcohol, sweets, all of that? Most people, no. And I'm like, you would probably be happy coming down a little bit, but then you look athletic and feel better and, you know, feel good in your clothes without having to restrict so much throughout your life. And then we run through everything that's happening in your life that is maybe working against those goals. You know, what's happening at home, what's happening with your kids, how many obligations do you have outside of work that could impede your time at the gym? And then we see what works best for you. Is it setting a schedule every Tuesday and Thursday, I'm seeing you at 4 o'clock, you know, hell or high water? Or is it being flexible where we set it week to week based around what your kids have going on, or your schedule? Sometimes work schedules aren't as set in stone. So really, I'm trying to figure out what works best for you. We're not a one-size-fits-all facility, and that I work with each of my clients, and they're all a little bit different in the ways that they see success. And then from there, we have the 2 sheets that I think most people were able to get. So our stick to it sheet, which is the little half sheet. So this is taking all of those big goals. So say we're trying to lose 30 pounds and gain strength. So that's a big goal. There's not any chance that you're going to be doing that in the next month. So we're taking this into bite-sized pieces. So we'll set a goal of the next time we're going to talk. Usually it's between 2 and 4 weeks. And then what is that goal? So it might be to lose 3 to 5 pounds. Why is that goal important to me? So this is for those moments when you really don't want to do whatever is the best choice. You know, it's because I want to be there for when, you know, my daughter gets married, and I want to be healthy and happy and feel good in that moment. And then next to the green check marks there is where we're going to set our action steps. So say for check mark number 1, you're committing to 1 session a week. You're going to spend some time in our 24/7 space. So after your workout with me, you're going to go upstairs and walk on the treadmill for 15 extra minutes after that. In the next one, it might be that we're going to only have 1 piece of chocolate with your afternoon coffee. We're not going to go overboard with lots of other things, you know, kind of focus on what really makes you happy and what drives you without falling into these pitfalls of like, oh, it was there, I'm going to eat it because there was a cupcake in the break room. And whatever, you know, they're all different for whichever person. And then it is a legally binding document, so you sign and date the bottom to make sure that you're committing to doing this. So that gives you action steps. So it's not, you don't just step in and they're like, well, something's going to happen. It's like, no, this is what I'm expecting of you, and you have expectations of me, and we're both going to do whatever we've committed to. Then the second piece is this full sheet. So this is our functional movement screen. So every single client goes through this. And this just helps me know what you're working with, because a lot of our clients tend to be coming in with some sort of musculoskeletal issue, because a lot of our clients, they've just lived a life. Most of them are between 40 and 70 years old, so we have knee issues, there's low back issues, my shoulder, can't raise it above this. So I run through all of these exercises and then kind of pick them apart. So it starts from just walking. I see what your posture looks like. How is your gait? Do you look a little unsteady on your feet? And going through all of these, you might get some homework that would help you remedy some of these problems and just make sure that you're moving safely. And it also shows me anything that I need to be aware of once we actually get into those sessions. So all of these things are things that you don't necessarily get at another facility, and that's why we come with a little bit of a higher price tag, but it's because, you know, you get what you pay for. You know, you get my expertise, you get a lot of my time that doesn't go away after that first session, as opposed to something that's a little bit more independent, which is great for some people, but not for all. So if you have any questions about getting fit or starting a fitness routine, just come and find me. Thank you so much.
I must correct myself because Jake was out of the room when I did the 13 count, so we're at 14, so I'm not the odd one. Despite what people think. I've Larissa, to help you on your form creation, I've renamed this the Goldilocks form.
Oh.
Wow. Because, you know, that allows you to achieve your optimum balance. Yeah, just to be helpful. Is that the Goldilocks lectern you have? God bless you. You know, Chris Di Lorenzo called this thing a podium.
God forbid.
Yeah, I corrected it to be helpful. Okay, I've got two-part form here, and so I'm going to read a little bit from this one, a little bit from that one. And this is Jeremy's introduction because he is speaker number 2. Jeremy is making a return to speech giving after a brief pause. Since starting on his second pathways, how many people have started their pathways in here? 2. So like, he's on his, how many people have started their second pathways? 1. Okay, God bless you. He's a hero. You're very Goldilocks. He has not done one since May 2025. Today, his project is on writing a speech with a purpose, which is the part of the visionary communication path. The purpose of his speech is to inform. Jeremy tells me that the talk is fast-paced, and at the end you will come away thinking that he is very, very busy or has most intense case of ADHD possible. Well, welcome to the club. Come on, Mr. ADHD.
Good luck, appreciate it. Setting my technology here. Am I blocking the screen?
No. I don't care.
That clean already.
This should be low.
Yeah, I know. What does it mean to be dangerous? Not aggressive, not reckless, but dangerous in the oldest sense of the word. Capable. Capable of defending yourself. Capable of building something with your hands. Capable of leading others. Capable of solving problems when the power goes out, when systems fail, when complexity overwhelms. In a world that rewards specialization, we are quietly becoming fragile. Many people are highly credentialed, but not broadly capable. The Renaissance ideal rejected that fragility. It produced individuals who are not one-dimensional, but integrated. Warriors who were artists, scholars who were builders, strategists who understood beauty and brutality. The model that I strive towards is becoming the modern-day Renaissance man. And hopefully this works. Gonna hit the space bar. The warrior ethos. For me, it all began in scouting, attaining the rank of Eagle Scout in the woods. We learned to start fires in the rain, to camp in unfamiliar and uncomfortable situations, to lead patrols, to navigate terrain, and to lead others. From there, I expanded my warrior ethos into self-defense. Through my military job, I'm qualified with the M18, which is the modern-day variant of the SIG P320. Some of you may know that one. It was in the news recently. And the M4, which is the modern-day variant of the M16. Aside from that, I have a personal firearms collection in handguns, long guns, shotguns. I'm licensed to carry a handgun in 37 states. I've also done archery, classical fencing, Krav Maga, and what you see pictured here is me partaking in Filipino martial arts. Aside from that, I've been involved in athletics, from track to football, a little bit of ping pong, dabbling somewhat in pickleball. And most recently, the effort has been golf, which is always quite the struggle. Aside from that, I ride a Peloton, do multiple sessions a week. In the summertime, I run outdoors. I'm active in snow and water sports. And I'm pursuing my Master Scuba Diving certification through PADI. About 20 years ago, I originally got certified with a different organization. My daughter expressed an interest a few years back, so we're working through it together, and I got recertified. The Renaissance man is not only a warrior, but he's a scholar. My academic journey spans both business and technology. I received an associate's degree in information systems through the Community College of the Air Force, a bachelor's in business from Cornell, MBA at Syracuse. I've done some cybersecurity studies at MIT, And then the Air Force has put me through a bevy of educational programs from officer training school at the Air University. It's actually an accredited university. It's kind of interesting. Air Force Institute of Technology. Some of you may remember last summer I was away for a month and a half. I was at that university out in Ohio. I've done classes at the National Space Security Studies Institute. And most recently, I completed another officer training program called Squadron Officer School, and that was at Arizona State University to prepare me for the next echelon of leadership. Why business and technology, you may ask? Because power in the modern world flows through systems, financial systems, digital systems, and security systems. Without understanding those systems, you are subject to them. I am guided by the quote that you see here on the screen from the co-founder of Cornell University. Idleness is to the human mind like rust to iron. My studies in technology have caused me to dig deeper into the field. I hold about a dozen cybersecurity and information technology related certifications and a few project management certifications. I'm proud to be a certified ethical hacker. That one always turns some heads when I mention that. And the CISP, which is sort of the penultimate cybersecurity certification with only about 120,000 holders worldwide. In the Renaissance era, mastery meant understanding the tools of your era. Today, those tools are digital. A modern Renaissance man must be as comfortable defending a network as he is chopping wood, which I also do, because I have wood stoves at home, and every fall I have to prepare wood for the winter months to feed my wood stoves. But competence doesn't make you mechanical. There must be refinement. I play piano, I play trumpet, I'm learning a language. My wife, her primary language is Afrikaans. She's teaching me that. It's been a 20-year journey. It's a tough one. I'm also a wine enthusiast, much like you, Greg, but not with a fancy tuxedos and everything. But I passed Cornell's most difficult their wine class. That's what the picture you see here is, the Cornell wine expert. They bestowed that to me when I completed that. And I've returned to chess. As LaShawn knows, we've played some games and he crushed me. I was pretty active when I was in college and I've let that go. So I'm back into it now. Coming for you, LaShawn. I'm just trying to find my place here, sorry. I'm also a builder. So I do woodworking, tiling, flooring, painting, plumbing, gardening, landscaping. The only thing I don't do and that you don't see listed here is electrical. I leave that one to the paid professionals. And for good measure, I'm also a New York State licensed real estate agent. I'm actually a broker, my own broker, so why not? What you see here is me tending to my field. My barn house project is way off there in the distance. There's some of the work I've done in my kitchen, the cabinets, the flooring, the walls, all that. Those stuff that my wife and I tackled, mostly me. But there's also service. As many of you know, I'm in the military. I'm a captain in the U.S. Air Force, but also I'm dual commissioned in the New York Air National Guard. So I have 2 sets of commissions. I'm actively involved in leadership programs at my unit. I recently reformed our company grade officers council to provide educational and development opportunities to my counterparts. I recently started up an amateur radio club at my unit. I am pretty involved with the American Red Cross. I've received their life-saving training, but I'm also on the Southern Tier chapter board. I'm in line for board chair next term, probably in June. And most recently, I was invited to join the Longhouse Council of the Scouting America, used to be Boy Scouts of America, and I'm on their board. Thank you for those of you who commented on my LinkedIn post the other day. I do these things because capability without service becomes ego. And there's also the communicator. BNI, we heard about that earlier. I was a member of that organization for a long time. I participated in some other programming through through Ivan Meisner's other program, Certified Networker. That's worth checking out. I'm starting to run low on time, so I'll wrap this up. Joe said it was going to be fairly fast-paced, and I'm not talking fast enough. Anyway, set my sights on the DTM, the Distinguished Toastmaster designation, which you can see kind of the pathway here. So this is my obligatory plug for the Toastmasters organization. Done the club officer thing. We did a speech craft, completed the first pathway. Very young into the new one, but then I have to do some other Joe type activities with leadership within the organization. And finally, I'm a master of the modern frontier. I'm a crypto investor. I also trade stock options and futures options. I'm an entrepreneur. I've owned online businesses, a tanning salon, real estate management company, and a franchise. I've tried my hand at a lot of different opportunities. As I alluded to earlier, I'm also an amateur or ham radio operator, successful contester, so I'm busy in that world. But kind of the genesis of the space studies work I've done in the radio and intelligence and cyber, I see a culmination of those things, so I'm now pursuing some radio satellite communications activities. A modern Renaissance man is not someone who collects hobbies, as the quote says here. He is someone who refuses to be one-dimensional, someone who prepares for uncertainty by becoming adaptable, someone who does not outsource growth. In the end, becoming dangerous or becoming capable isn't about domination, it's about readiness. Readiness to lead, readiness to protect, readiness to create, and readiness to endure. That is the pursuit, and that is what it means for me to be a modern day Renaissance man.
Outstanding. Well, the Goldilocks man is down here, and the Renaissance man is up here. So very Goldilocks things, but
Weren't you called the Renaissance man recently, and before you knew what it meant?
That's why I got
now you know what it means.
That's why I got
oh yeah.
So you're close, right?
Actually, among my Rotary Club members, they call me the Renaissance man. But I've done almost everything he's done except the military stuff. But I'll tell you my archery story sometime.
That's next.
Yeah,
What story? The what one?
archery story.
Oh, archery.
Yeah, at 50 yards. Anyway, okay, where are we here? Jeremy just gave his number 2 speech.
gonna
So we're
be-
at the Toastmasters table topics. And that would be you from
Yeah,
here.
I'll step in.
From here, okay.
Perfect. All right. So I don't think that this was explained when we first started to those who are visiting, but the table topics portion of the meeting is an off-the-cuff short speech, so one minute to 2 minutes. And you are asked a question, you don't know the question ahead of time, and just on your feet you have to try and speak on that topic. So for those that are visiting or haven't been here in a while, if you would not like to be called upon, just, I don't know, avoid eye contact with me. For everybody else. Oh, hi, Catherine. For everyone else, I will call on you. Catherine, would you like to do a table topic? Since you're here. I can't hear. Oh, we can't hear. Uh-oh. We can hear. Never mind.
Convenient, yeah.
Greg, I'm going to call on you. Pick a number between 1 and 20.
17.
17. If you were stuck in an elevator with a celebrity, who would you choose and what would you talk about?
Okay. If I was stuck in an elevator, first of all, that's a scary moment for many of us, because especially if you're claustrophobic, luckily I'm not, but I like to make jokes, so I guess as a celebrity, it would be a comedian. And what comedian would I choose? I'm a fan of many. Brian Regan, I really like, but Steve Martin is probably an old-time comedian. I saw him back in 1976 on the King Tut tour, when he was singing the song King Tut. And Steve was just a different type of comedian. You had the standard stand-up comedians, but he kind of brought a whole new level of silliness to comedy. I don't know if you saw some of his early stuff, but he just was so irreverent and interesting and cerebral too. And some of his lines, maybe I would ask him the question, what did he mean by some of his songs? Like eating cactus was one of the lines from it. What did you mean by eating cactus? And hopefully the elevator would open quickly after he answered that question. Steve Martin.
Very cool. Joe, are you willing to step in? Pick a number between 1 and 20 that is not 17. 10. If you could be in the Winter Olympics, which sport would you likely play? Assuming you'd be successful.
I'll ski it because I've never skied in my life, but I was watching that young 21-year-old this morning on Sports Center. I can't even remember his name, but I watched him. I think they phrased it as fly like a bird. And this kid was just unbelievable, just the way he hung up in the air and then he just flipped. And I thought, wow, that would be so cool to do. So,
Yeah.
and plus the fact that I've never skied, so. But I've often wanted to, but because of sports, I was always involved in sports. I didn't ski because I was always worried about hurting my knee or twisting my ankle. So I'm like, I like to do these sports better, so I'm going to stay away from skiing.
I'll do one more just to make sure that we're staying on time. LaShawn, would you be willing to be in the hot seat?
Yes.
A number between 1 and 20 that's not 10 or 17.
1.
1. What was history's greatest invention, in your opinion?
Wow. Okay. Greatest invention. That's a tough one. I would have to say I'm torn on this one. There's a lot of different ways to go with this. History's greatest invention would be the automobile. And for 2 reasons. Before, to get from one coast to the other, it would take months, if not years, especially if you're traveling with your entire family. It's very dangerous to do so as well. But now, we're able to get in our cars and drive wherever we want, whether it's across the country, whether it's to our neighbors, we can get around. And the second reason is because this reminds me of Henry Ford. And I'm a fan of Henry Ford mainly because of one of the quotes that I hold as my favorite quote of all, which is, if you believe you can or can't, then you are correct. I love that. It's so powerful. It really says a lot about how much power you have on what you do in life and what you accomplish. You can do anything you put your mind to if you believe you can achieve it. And it starts with believing you can.
I am going to pass it back to our Toastmaster, Ben, but everybody has small square cards. So if you would like to vote for who gave the best table topic, we have LaShawn, Joe, and Greg.
Great. Good job.
Thank you, thank you.
Give us a moment. And then it'll take some time to tally the counts.
Yeah, we can pass them around towards me and I can take all that last there.
so. Everybody show.
We can do the evaluation while they're being counted?
Yes.
Okay, okay. You're an evaluator, number one?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Did I give you an evaluation form?
You did. I got it myself.
Excellent. So did you want to come up here, or
I can stay right here. Yes.
if that's your preference, yes?
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Aaliyah. I'm evaluating Larissa's speech. I didn't catch the title, but I'm going with stick to it. It's long. As you know, Larissa, you're an excellent natural speech giver and public speaker, so I'll say it again, just so you remind yourself, but I love the passion you showed for the subject matter. It could seem kind of plain or, a scary topic to some people, but you showed that you really cared for it, and the competence you had for what you do every day, it really came through. And then your reference material was purposely used, so it wasn't just something thrown around. It was great. Really not much to work on. Your vocal variety is great. With that, like you Goldilocks between giving a sensitive tone whenever you're talking about something scary, but then very clear when you're presenting information. But just at the end of some sentences, you go up a little bit, but I think that's something a lot of people do. And you had great eye contact, sometimes looking at the floor, but again, nothing that was super distracting. And you were very comfortable. One thing I would say maybe try is, instead of maybe an informative speech, maybe persuasive speech. Get us on your side or something. Yeah, I was on your side with this, but yeah. And that's my evaluation. Nice job.
Yeah.
Oh, you're here.
You're now. She's invisible, but that's okay. And now, okay, Daniel. It's up to Daniel, Mr. Sophisticated. What do you call those things that are sticking up like
This,
It's a special name.
there is a special name for it. Most
Yeah.
people call them a pocket square, but they do actually have an actual French word for them. I can't remember what it is.
Oh, well, didn't mean to put you on the spot, but please.
You know, I don't know.
Pocket square works for us.
Yes, all right, well, thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster. I am the evaluator for Jeremy's speech. I believe his speech title is The Modern Renaissance Man, if we would want to call him that. The first thing I'd like to say is, can you be my mentor? I'd love to have someone like you literally guide my life. It's incredible experiences. Going back to your speech, great structure, absolute completeness in terms of covering the topic matter. You had great visual aids. Even though you had some technological challenges, you were able to overcome those. What I would definitely want you to work on, that I noticed, and this is very minor, is a bit more body engagement, a bit more fluidity in the presentation. I know that you were in front of your computer and you had things written down. If you could potentially memorize most of that, come back to the lectern, have a bit more engagement, especially when you're talking about things that really matter to you during the speech. But otherwise, I think that the information that you provided was concise. There was a lot of information to cover, so you tried to add as much of that into your speech as possible. The other thing that I'll say on a personal note is I highly doubt you have ADHD, because you have way too much focus to all those things, hopefully very well. And the last thing is that I would say that the presentation did go over the 8 minutes, so practicing it to try to reduce, to make sure that you're within your time frame as much as possible and still cover all of your topics and subject matter, that would be the additional last piece of advice. So thank you very much for your speech.
In my years of being here, well, I just found a certificate that I was in the Toastmasters in 1977. And then I dropped out again, but I thought if I had been consistent, I could talk as good as you, really. But very good. Thank you, Daniel. And Brandy, you have some time report.
Thank you.
Jennifer's glad to listen to you because she came special. She came special for this.
So the time club reporting, the first, I don't really know what is supposed to be involved in this, but the first speaker was Larissa. The time target was 6 to 8 minutes. She went 8 minutes, 6 seconds, and 11 milliseconds.
Yeah, that's pretty precise.
And
It should be in the Olympics.
Aaliyah for the evaluator was 1 minute, 20 seconds. I'll leave the milliseconds out. Speaker 2, Jeremy, 6 to 8 minutes again. He went 9 minutes, 58 seconds. Daniel is the evaluator, was 1 minute and 44 seconds. The table topics, Greg was at 1 minute and 17 seconds. Joe was at 41 seconds. And LaShawn was at 1 minute and 13 seconds.
Excellent report for your first time as timer, I believe. Right, excellent. And nice flagging, too. You could do a checker flag person someday. Grammarian Joe, welcome back, Joe. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, I occasionally send them invitations that you haven't paid to do. So. But he showed up, so thanks for doing it. And bring in Junior.
This is a tough one for me being a grammarian because my oldest daughter is a teacher and she constantly corrects me. In fact, when she's been home, she'll look at some of my emails and be like, "Are you kidding me? You really said this?" So it's a tough one. I'll start with Ben. I really just got Ben, Larissa, and Jeremy. I didn't notice anything else that jumped out at me. And the only thing that jumped out at me was when you said, "Okay, where are we?" Larissa, you did a phenomenal job. You really did. That's a great presentation. I think sometimes you were a little slow and you hesitated, but that can be good too, right? When you do that, when you're talking to people. I think one time you said, in a group. And then I'm sure whoever was doing the was the counter will get you on some of those. Catchy phrases though, you did say, and I like this because I'm a salesman too. What sets us apart? I like that. And then you said first step, so that was great. Mm-hmm. Jeremy, phenomenal too, phenomenal job. Hard to critique that. The only thing I really caught was you said, I'll a couple of times. You repeated those phrases a couple of times. You did mention your amateur radio, so I love that too. I've got a scanner. I'm gonna look you up sometime so you can help me figure it out. Because I can't figure it out. My wife bought me one and I can't figure it out. Yeah, that's really all I caught with you too, though. Good job.
Craig, Mr. Ah?
Okay. Larissa, you had quite a few ahs and ums. I think you probably know I counted 9 of them. Ands and buts, there was 1. And there were 8 you knows. I think when you're explaining something, that's kind of your comfort zone when you get into those sorts of phrases. Mm-hmm. Well, so there was 8. And there was a couple other ones. I thought you had some good movement up there from behind the podium. Kinda was another word. I'm like hey. Which sometimes is like phrase. It's a generational thing. The whole like kind of thing. I used to bust my daughter about that all the time. Jeremy, you had 2 ahs, 2 repeats. And some of your phrases that you had. I think it was mentioned previously. I think one thing that would be helpful, very, very strong presentation, by the way. You started off as very firm, very direct, and you were right behind the podium and right at somebody with that. It can be good or it can be maybe a little abrasive, but I think if you maybe move from behind the podium a little bit more, and a little more body movement, that might soften it. A ton of content of what you had up there. I'd love to see your calendar someday, to see how packed and double stacked you are with that. Other things, some and kinda was another thing that you had mentioned when you were doing the presentation. Overall, I thought it was phenomenal. Table topics, Larissa, you had 1 and 1 well. So, Greg, you've had 2 ahs and 2 and buts. When you were talking about Robin Williams, kind of transferring some of the lingo that he had, which is probably kind of difficult given he's a comedian. Joe, you had 2 ahs. Sean, you had 1. Leah, you had 2. Dan, you had 5 ahs. And Joe, you had your grammarian 1.
Good job. You know, I have a problem listening as close as you listen, but catch everything. Where was I? Okay, we're at the table topics master voting results.
Yes. By 1 vote,
Whoa.
LaShawn is our winner.
LaShawn, by the power vested in me, would you like a Reese's caramel cup or brown sugar cinnamon pop-ups?
I'll take the Reese's caramel cup.
Okay.
All right.
My wife will appreciate that. Let there be a winner everywhere. That's the Goldilocks prize. Somebody has to go back to work.
I do, unfortunately.
Okay, well, God bless you, have a good day. I'm glad you made it. Good job.
You did great.
You guys have fun.
Yeah. Mr. General Evaluator,
All right.
we salute you.
Thank you. Yeah, the meeting went well. It was very well attended, much more than in the past few months. So that's been nice to see. Ben, you led it well. Started off, I appreciated the opening speech. I always find that when we have an opening speech from the Toastmaster, it really helps set the tone for the meeting and brings us into it. And you always set a tone with a lot of levity, and it makes for a fun meeting. So.
I learned that from your dad.
Oh yeah, he told me that too. So the one time I was Toastmaster, I did do that. As stressed as I was about it, I wrote it out, and I was glad I did. Also, I appreciated. I thought that was fun, and did a prize for the table topics winner. That kind of gives incentive for the win, and just kind of makes it a little more fun. And Brandy, great job doing timer for the first time. And I liked that when you were presenting, it was cool that you kind of joked and gave the milliseconds. We've never had that before, so that kind of made it fun. And also, you were pretty comfortable up there, especially considering the first time. And then for the other evaluators, I was just going to mention, I thought it was great. Aaliyah did a great job, was very comfortable considering, she's newer, and I think that was her first evaluation. And then Daniel, obviously great speaker as always. And then the only thing I was going to say was just that it's always tough, as I know, to make the time, the 2 to 3 minutes, but neither did. But it's, I don't know, sometimes you just don't have a whole lot to go off of, especially when people do a good job in their speeches. So that was good. And let's see. And then Joe and Craig, you guys, great job as usual. And that's kind of tough with the grammarian and the counter. They overlap a bit. Greg and I have talked about, should that be kind of a combined role, maybe to just because there was carryover with things like the kindas and likes are sort of like a filler, but they're also grammatically incorrect and some things like that. So, and then you counted a couple like ahs and so's, which are, so maybe we could consider combining them. And then also we'd have an easier time assigning roles, which we tend to have a hard time with, which, again, just a reminder, kind of and myself included, reach out to Larissa a little earlier with our sign-ups and to confirm that we're coming, or at least cancel if we aren't coming. All right, so I'll conclude and pass it back to you.
Well, God bless you. Thank you very much. Good job. Did everybody get the little email with the Aladdin and the genie?
I did, yeah.
That was on our Facebook page. I tried to find something a little bit that if you speak it, you can be it, or something like that. So pretty much that's what we're all about, the adventure of growing.
Right, I liked it, because I think, when did you say that?
I don't know, not too long ago.
I was in the heat of the battle, and I looked at that,
oh, it kind of made me chuckle.
Is that what got you and Junior here?
Jeremy guilted me and Greg said, come as a guest.
It was very eye-catching, so I like that, but, okay, watch out for Disney, they sue people who sell pinatas and stuff.
Come and get me, I've been in court.
Shut down our club.
Oh, sorry, yeah. I can delete that tonight. Joe Junior, did you want to give a final speech or anything? A little, thanks for coming, or,
Yeah.
what do you think?
Thanks for having me. I am not a member, but I come with my dad often.
Well, he's not a member either.
That's fair. But at one point he was, and he called me yesterday very late and said, Joseph, you're going to Toastmasters. All right, I guess I'll go to Toastmasters. So I didn't do anything. I didn't attribute anything to this meeting, but it's fun coming up here and watching everybody's speeches. I love public speaking. It's what I do. So I really appreciate being here, and maybe one day I'll be the second Joe Crisatello as a member. Actually, the first one, because you're not.
Well, he might be inspired to, because of you coming, he might be inspired to pay his dues, so he could bring you as a guest again.
You know what, I'll bring it up when we have lunch. I'll get it on.
He'll pay for
Thank
lunch,
you.
yeah.
And he's got a couple
Well,
of
thank you
speeches too.
very much. What do we got? We got 5 minutes. I see, Catherine, can you speak?
I can speak. Can you hear me?
Yes. Well, it's, I'm turning it over to you while you're driving.
Okay.
Can you pull over?
No, I pulled over.
Okay.
I pulled over, yeah. Thank you. I wish I had heard the speeches. Sorry about that, but I'm happy to be able to be for the last half of the meeting. I have just a couple of announcements. One, Amber will be joining us next month. Amber Engalis. So she should be here in person. She joined us last month or the month before on Zoom, so she'll be here. The second thing is Ben is going to be participating in telling a tall tale. Ooh, that's a lot of alliteration. Telling a tall tale as usual in the contest at the end of the month on Saturday the 28th. So I guess that's a week and a half from now at the Church of the Holy Family in Endwell. Ben, I don't know if Amber has sent you any of the details, but if you have them or when you get them, if you could send out an email to the club in case we want to come and watch you.
I think Joe
and
said
cheer you on.
we can't do it there, he said. So he's trying to figure out an alternate place.
Oh, okay. I thought he said okay, whatever. Okay, so if you get the details, that'd be great. I'm sure you'll do fantastic. I believe you may be, at least as of a week ago, you were the only participant, so I expect you'll do really well.
I expect to go double.
So we'll see. The third thing is we are planning an event. We're not allowed to call it an open house according to Joseph's direction from somebody in Toastmasters. But we are having an event currently scheduled for Saturday, April 18th, Vestal Public Library, where we are going to, it's a member drive. And I think Joseph may or may not have mentioned it in one of our meetings, but we're trying to get all of the members, all people in the community to be more aware of Toastmasters, and all 5 Broome County clubs, including Visions, although Visions can't have anybody as a member unless they're a Visions employee, but they're helping with the planning. So we're planning to have a guest speaker that we're going to honor with a Toastmasters, I think it's called an area communication award or something, that a president of one of the other clubs found. And I reached out to Linda Sarah. A lot of you probably know her or know who she is, Executive Director of Mercy House, and she's going to be our honoree for all the success that she's had as the Executive Director of Mercy House. And so she'll give a little speech. Should be really good. I'm praying we have a lot of people. I'm not going to be there, but I'll be out of town. But anyway, if anybody could go, bye. If anybody could go or put on your calendars, it would likely be 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock, Vestal Library, and we'll have more details. And if anybody would like to join the 4 of us who showed up at the last meeting to plan to get some new ideas, we would love to do that. It will be this Zoom, because we're still using the morning night Zoom, I believe, correct? Jeremy or Larissa?
That's right.
Okay, so it'll be this Zoom link tonight at 7 o'clock for an hour. So if anybody is bored, or would like to join, that would be wonderful so we can get some different input. We still have a lot of planning of things to do. That's it for me.
Okay, thank you very much, Madam President.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.
I think I saw a poster of that event. It said a Toastmaster event, and then parentheses, not an open house.
Okay, yeah, I couldn't remember if I sent some, anyway, yeah. So,
We're trying to
anyway,
follow
we'll have
the
to
rules.
follow the rules.
Well, that's been a Goldilocks meeting, that's for sure. I was gonna ask the one guest that we had if she wanted to say anything, but she's gone. Many people know I do a radio show, so tonight, I have on my radio show an actor, Ray Grappone, and his girlfriend Vicky. Ray has done a lot of Broadway shows and stuff. He's a drummer locally. He has an art gallery in Endicott. He's a very interesting gentleman. Last Thursday, I had on the director of the Ross Park Zoo, whose name I can't remember right now.
Phil Gittner.
Thank you. Phil Gittner was there. He was very good too. A lot of things happening at the zoo.
Under him as the director of operations for about a year and a half.
Whoa, nice. Well, I want to thank everybody for coming. I want to applaud the meeting because you guys made it happen.
Yeah, sorry I missed everybody being there. Great.
Oh, Jeremy especially. Wow. I did record this one.
And Ben, you record these meetings, right? So I would be able to hear the speeches, these wonderful speeches that I'm sure they were.
I'm going to I'll definitely have this one online because Jeremy was so good. I do have the other ones that I recorded some but didn't process. So I'll
Yeah, this would be great when you have it.
I'll whip myself and make sure it happens.
Do we ever use the Zoom recording feature, or do we just use the little audio?
It's not our account, it's,
Okay.
so, okay, we wouldn't be able to access it. It's a good, really good